Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude BeyondMystic, and welcome to this deep woo-woo episode. Tonight's title is Simulated Reality with SOLRETA. You can find her work at SOLRETA Antaria on YouTube and also on her website at solretapsychicreadings.com. What just happened? It just disappeared on me. Well, I don't know. It's a blank page. Let's give her a big warm welcome. SOLRETA, welcome back to the show.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me, JC. Already, I'm experiencing Mercury Retrograde things. So I'm plugged into the Ethernet cable at the moment. Going to do a new update, get ahead of the game in regards to Mercury Retrograde. Even just like opening things, like with the app that I use to scan for weeks now, I've had the most tremendous problems with it. So I'm just going to try and overhaul my whole system right before Mercury hits.
Okay, well, there you go. Man, crazy energies here as well. I've been so busy in the last couple of days, a lot of new episodes, a lot of new guests coming on to the Patreon. It's just like a rush of new energies, and I think the universe is behind us right now. We're feeling that wind of change, and it's sometimes it's not comfortable. I didn't sleep well much last night. How about you? Do you feel better today?
Yeah, definitely. The night before, so the night before during the Tantra show that we did, which was so much fun, by the way. I'm really excited by that. But yeah, last night, I ended up getting an ocular migraine, so where your vision disappears. So I knew that it was my body just saying, go and rest. So yesterday I spent the day napping on and off and just had an amazing sleep last night. So I feel fully charged and ready for today. I'm excited, and I picked some cards just to look into the scene of what we're talking about today as well.
Awesome. Well, before we do that, let's welcome all our guests tonight who are watching on this live show. Thank you so much for joining us on this Saturday night. We usually record this on Friday evenings, but last night, as SOLRETA just said, we recorded our first ever episode of, let me bring that slide up for you there. Here we go. Raising Kundalini with SOLRETA, a pay-per-view exclusive series. We're excited to talk about that. We'll get into that a little bit later on the show, but this is why we switched the schedule over, and we're doing this show here tonight instead. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on this live interactive show. Please do bring your comments and your questions as we go along here in the show. And much love and much hugs to everyone in this chat. Thank you so much for being here. So SOLRETA, let's start with that reading for the collective.
Yeah, so I guess because this is a series that we've been building on, so we've really been layering in what it is to be in a simulated reality, but we've also given people the tools in how to kind of go on that journey through that simulated reality, to try hold that anchor point within yourself, to have what you wish to manifest and what you desire to have unfold. Hi, Sage. Hello to everyone that's with us, part of the BeyondMystic family. So yeah, I really feel that we've journeyed with the audience into this simulated reality and into quantum reality. So what they really want to talk about today, and I was getting downloads before I picked cards, is, you know, this is all really good and well to have that intention, to have that focus, and to know that we want to go in this direction. But what happens when we're hit with challenges such as Mercury retrograde? So this is perfect timing before going into Mercury retrograde. A lot of our audience would be quite empathic and would be sensitive to energies. So you guys might be feeling it a lot sooner than a lot of other people might be, say, in your work environment, work situation. So empaths, psychics, and sensitives tend to feel these things a lot sooner. So I would say this is a big number of your audience too. Right. So what the cards echoed was the same message. So we had the Five of Wands, which talks about strife, but to me, this talks about holding strong on the ground. So we have Leo and Saturn energy with this. So this is really summoning up that Leo strength. I've got like weird Mercury retrograde hair happening today. This is summoning up.
Says, I love your background. No, sorry, Sage says, I love your background. Yeah, I love your new.
Thank you. Yeah, it's so beautiful to be back in the hills. I just feel so at home here. I love it. Waking up to kookaburras and cockatoos and rosellas and parrots. It's a choir in the mornings. So yeah, we have this energy, and we can see that there's this alignment. So physical to higher self is what this speaks to me. The yellow represents a lesson. So instead of getting frustrated, so for example, this morning, just even to log into my computer and to get, internet connection and things, there was like this whole rigmarole that had to happen and set up. But I know that this is kind of the drill when Mercury retrograde season comes around. So in a little way, you expect it. You show up, you do things early to try and, I guess, mitigate problems as much as you can going into this season. So this is what this speaks about. It speaks about a preparedness. Now, if we're prepared for potential outcomes, potential things, it's not that we're taking the fear in the, oh, this might happen. It's more that we're just giving ourselves that insurance during this season, this astrological season, that we have those tools to survive, that we've packed the life jacket or that we've packed the parachute, depending on what things what things are going to be thrown at us. So we can see here there's a lot of inner strength with this star type energy that's coming from the inside. These sort of represent those challenges and things. Now, 5 can also sometimes represent like a stalemate. It can sometimes represent that energy of feeling stuck. So if you are feeling stuck within these energies or stuck within things that you're trying to work on or manifest, maybe there's something better that's lining up for you, because sometimes Mercury retrograde will come around to be like, I'm just giving you this opportunity to revisit these things, whether it's past lovers. So for me, that kind of thing usually comes back around, and that's how I work out that I'm in Mercury retrograde, because people from the past, whether it's friends or lovers, things start to show up. But this is also things like you want to try and get everything done that you have to on paper. So today I'm going to spend the rest of my time finishing emails and all of the tech stuff that my psychic brain doesn't always, dedicate as much focus and attention as when I'm in those reading situations. So today I'm going to be finishing up that kind of stuff. But what this is leading to is the reminder that we are the Hierophant. So we are the one that's in contact and in communion with the universe, with God, with this higher self energy. So we can see here as well that we need to have faith. We need to realize that we are that illuminated being, that we have this energy within us, not let any of this stuff knock us off our pole. Now, what I'm seeing is an unveiling happen within the matrix as well. So we can see this Queen of Swords here, and she's pulling the mask off. There's a form of liberation. So when you realize that all of this is just a game, and that we're players in the game, and we start to generate and write our own code, which is part of hacking that simulated reality and really starting to live our quantum potential. We go from being like an analog, old-fashioned computer into more of a quantum computer. And this is where our mind needs to come into alignment. We need to start getting our mind and body in congruency and in alignment with this. So this week, I'd really love to focus on, we've given some of the tools how to do this with diet and things, but I would also love to hear from the audience if there's different things that they're finding that are helping to pull them into alignment, that are giving them the next steps, because we've got to pave the way. We have to keep laying that. We can't just always be in present moment. It's a fine balance between being in the present moment, the Hierophant, but we also need to set ourselves up for this Queen of Swords energy to have this liberation. We also need to look at if there's any new programs that surface within our mind, if there's any new emotions and situations from the past that are brought up, because a lot of the time when we have success or when we have, new things show up in our life, the old part of us, the old mindset, the old brain will bring up a disbelief pattern, or will bring up whether it's, feeling undeserving, unworthy. A lot of these core programs will come up. So we need to, if they come up, recognize it, sit within it, hold it, possibly even use your hand like a magnet and sweep that out of the body. Ask that emotion is released. There's many different ways you can do it with hypnosis and things as well, but it's really important to continue the work, not just to think that we do it once or twice. This experience being on the 3D earth is a continual thing, and we know that from incarnating time and time again. So if we can lessen the resistance against us and start opening up the pathways and shedding those old programs, because imagine if we kept every single update, every single program, every single file that we've had, or now one computer that we've had since we started using computers. It just doesn't make sense. So we need to think in these terms as well.
Yeah, it's time to clean up. It's funny, we just did this show on raising Kundalini, and one of the precursors to accessing and empowering yourself with that energy is what SOLRETA is just saying now, removing a lot of these old programs that are preventing you from accessing all of these gates. So that's a very good point. And also, as it pertains to relationships now, too, it feels like we talked about this in the show last night, but we can maybe touch on it a little bit here. It feels that our friends and families and people who are in relationships are now being called upon by universe to refine themselves on a higher level or a higher frequency. And sometimes that's scary because one partner gets there before the other, and they're worried whether or not the other partner will catch up. And so maybe we can speak to that a little bit here. And so there's a question on the screen from Sharish, is when does the retrograde begin? We can answer that, and also talk about the fear that some of these people have right now in terms of maybe losing a companion, because the energy between them is so very different at this time. We're all on different paths. But again, there's encouragement in knowing that hopefully if you found yourself in this frequency, you can also find yourself in your relationships in this higher frequency we're talking about now. So let's dive into that a little bit here. And Mark says also, hey, I'm happy I booked a session with her in August. So that's good. There's quite a few of my members who send me a Patreon note saying that they're booked with you as well, and they're excited to have
that's so sweet.
That's awesome.
So when you do the booking, you usually get the email confirmation come through automated. Just because I am so busy, I don't have time to do the emailing back and forth.
Right.
But I will go check in today as well if there's any extra messages that I need to look out for. But yeah, in regards to Mercury retrograde, it's starting on the 29th of May. So it's coming up really soon. So we usually do feel that shadow period 2 weeks before, especially with your audience being quite sensitive and awakened to these sort of energies too. So this will continue until the 22nd of June. So 29th of May to 22nd of June. So we'll still have that shadow period after. And the way that it works is with the Mercury retrograde, it's kind of that Mercury starts to move backwards. So it's a revisit of things from the past. So if we think about it in that way, it's really easy to get our head around and understand this. But we do have tech issues, computer issues, things like this that usually can surface. So yeah, trying to have all of that prepared as much as you can, and to have your backup systems or backup internet, all of that kind of thing as much as you can. It's really one of those batten down the hatches type astrological seasons. But if you're doing the work, because I know they say you shouldn't sign contracts, agreements, things like this during Mercury retrograde period, because it's really an upheaval, not a stable energy at all. So Mercury rules the mind. So you might even notice that you're getting extra thoughts that you don't usually have, or that you're obsessing over certain things, or your brain is circling around on different things. So definitely a time to get your meditation program happening, do other things like spa treatments, yoga, anything that's going to connect you with nature, what is real, and going to give that sense of grounding. We want to pull ourselves out of our mind. So if we're thinking Mercury is ruling the mind, what can we do to come back to the heart? Now, I know with the relationship thing, this is a really big one, because it does bring up miscommunications is quite the common thing that Mercury retrograde will bring up. So we need to make sure that, say, if we feel that someone's perhaps just in a bad mood that day, or they're lashing out, we don't need to partake in the other side of that. We don't need to add our usual pattern to it. So it can be a time of breaking patterns. It can be a time of being that anchor, not just for yourself, but for those of the people around you too. So we can look at it two ways. If we know what's happening, it's much easier to not get caught up in that program and to, like we said before with this card, to hold strong in this. Tap into that heart, tap into that Leo energy, tap into that inner leadership, that inner illumination that the sun brings, because we have Saturn in this card too. So it's going to try bring in constriction, it's going to try and squeeze in and control things. So sometimes in Mercury retrograde, we get frustrated when we can't control the situation, we can't control the outcome. So it feels almost like water, trying to hold it in your hands and it's just dripping through. You're trying to fill up a bucket. That's the explanation that I feel is really appropriate for Mercury retrograde. Yeah. So sometimes it's just throwing the bucket out, or it's, walking out in the rain without the umbrella. Yeah. It's a bit of an effort. moment. So I will pick an affirmation around around what we're working with this. Oh, they're telling me to. Okay.
Okay, hold on. While you do that, I'll thank some of our PayPal tip jar donators who are coming in already. Thank you so much. Teresa Tidewell, thank you. Yolanta, thank you so much. Mark Pachenko, thank you so much with the 777s. I love that. Lita Schultz, thank you so much. Benoit Gosselin, merci beaucoup. Nice French name. Lisa DiMartino says, thank you. We love watching you guys together. John and Lisa, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Blaine Gurdry, I think is how you pronounce that. Thank you so much. And hi, JC, and like SOLRETA, see how my journey looks like for the rest of the year. Okay, we'll pick you first later on when we get to the questions section, Blaine. I won't forget you. We'll come back to that. So thank you so much, everyone. And there's a lovely comment on the screen here. Greg says, SOLRETA, you look so beautiful tonight. I think I can see your aura. I love that.
That's so sweet. Thank you. Actually, I got the funniest comment. The show that we did, I think it was the other day, or maybe it might have just been, there was a photo that I posted with the sun in it. And one of my clients, she texts me and she's like, because I thought, actually she's a friend as well. So last time I saw her, she's like, you look like you're going 5D. She's like, it's almost like you were ethereal or transparent. She goes, I feel like I could start to see more of your energy body coming through as opposed to just the physical. So I found that was quite a cute comment, she said. That's awesome. Yeah, but we do have some cards. We have these cute little ones, affirmation cards. So with these ones, this is around Mercury retrograde. So it's really about receiving and being still. So I feel that echoes what we were talking about too. So it says, how can someone support you if you're not letting them? So receiving and charity. So I also feel this is more like to do with giving to yourself.
We can't barely make that one out. It's a little bit too small.
It's a little bit hard because it's written in rote form too. Okay. So we have be still. Spirit waits to guide you, but you must still Spirit waits to guide you, but you must be still to hear the messages. So use this time of Mercury retrograde to go within. It would almost, I've been getting told by Spirit to look into Vipassana meditation. Now, I've had a few friends that have done it. I don't know how I feel about being silent for 10 days because I am a Leo with Gemini and Libra. So I don't know if that will happen, but definitely it would be something I would love to trial for 3 days at least. But Spirit is really talking about there's a lot of messages that need to come through at the moment that we do need to get into this place of stillness and into this receptive mode, because there is a lot of codes being downloaded to us. There is a lot of upgrades happening. And I myself felt pulled to go back up to Uluru and different sacred places. So need to set aside and book some time out to do that kind of thing too. How about you, JC? What are you feeling at the moment with everything unfolding?
Well, for me right now, it's just incredibly busy. It's planting season, the garden, the greenhouse, and we're going through some renovations here in the house as well, helping my parents. They live a couple houses down, and the show is just growing and growing and growing, and I have a gazillion emails to respond to. So right now I feel like, what's that expression? A chicken running with its head cut off. Just like, I'm just trying to get everything done. And, last week, I think it was Friday, I took a night off. I canceled the show because I was sunstroke from spending so much time in the greenhouse. So okay, I need to do a better job managing everything, but it's just that everything's coming at the same time. And on top of that, the weird energies, like I'm getting even working peacefully in the garden, I have these heart palpitations. So there's a lot of things happening, I think, with the Schumann resonance and just the energetic field around us and how we're all connected here between the audience and ourselves here. So there's a lot going on. And I think I need to do a little bit of a better job catching up on sleep and catching up on those emails. I've got oh my God, you should see my inbox. It's just getting crazy. But I love it. Like I'm seeing here, Jane Hitchcock says, so happy to see you both. And now I'm looking at the name like, I know that name. So you see, I probably responded to her in an email somewhere, but I don't know. But it feels familiar right now. At any rate, welcome, Jane. I think it's the first time you comment here. That's amazing. So yeah, I need to do a better job. That's for sure. I think once the season is over. What's that?
You could split in two. I was saying to you before the show, I feel like that I just need
Need a
someone as a
friend.
PA to help with all of the emails and things. And because I'm, busy updating and growing everything at the moment too, and splitting in a couple of directions. So I think it's definitely time for us to get some assistance to help with the tech side.
Right. I'm getting there too because the channel is growing fast, but at the same time, if I'm going to pay somebody, I need to have the revenues to do that. And I'm
Yeah.
just between that sweet spot. So I'm still in those growing pains where, one, I'm reluctant to give the keys to anyone because it's my baby. I want to do it right. And I'm very careful about all of our content. I'm a perfectionist. But two, also, it's the revenue thing. So because we were terminated on YouTube, it just, it removed all of that income that was coming from the AdSense. That could have helped a little bit more. So I need to grow a little bit more here. And I think at some point I'll be able to have somebody help me out. And I think for this summer, at least I'll try with Audriane, my oldest daughter, to handle maybe some of the email workloads.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that'll be good. It'll be a good little responsibility for her as well to kind of learn how this works. So I'm excited about that. Once she's done for school for this year, we'll try to get her set up and she'll help me out here with some of the comments and the emails. So that should be cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh, and I just had a download from Spirit as well. If there's any questions that anyone has in regards to what came up in the cards, in regards to holding down the hatches and everything, going into working with this quantum reality. So if anyone does have any questions, I feel like the guides want to answer if there's anything around simulated reality, quantum reality. So if we can really pick some of those questions tonight too.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, let's do that. So there's already a few in the tip jar, but we want to be able to answer questions here on the live stream as well. So if you guys have questions for us, please put them in high caps. A little bit easier for me to pick up because the thing you don't know, when people tag my name in YouTube, it doesn't come through to this thing with the little flashing light. I don't see it. So if you put it in high caps, it'll be easier for me to pull on the screen and for SOLRETA also to read it for you guys. So anytime you guys now start populating the chat, we'll do maybe a little bit more of a reading here in terms of the couples and the relationships as we were talking about. We'll talk about the show we did yesterday, and then we'll get into these personal readings for you guys.
Yeah. And there's more like downloads happening. So the urgency that I'm feeling from Spirit is they know that we're so close to breaking through into this other side, into this reality that we've all been craving and holding in our hearts for so long. And so there's an eagerness. It's like they're wanting to give us this Christmas present and they know what it is. And they have that sense of you're going to love it. Like I'm sure that, so that's the feeling, that the energy that the guides bring through. And for those of you that are sensitive, will feel this energy coming through as we talk about it too. So I just want everyone to understand and to know the energy of what they bring through and the love that they bring through for humanity as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So do you want to touch upon now maybe tips or tools on how to bridge that gap between maybe one of the couple accelerating in their frequency development work versus the other one who is not? There's a lot of fear around there. So let's maybe pull a few cards on that, and then we'll talk about yesterday's episode for the audience who are interested in diving even deeper into this work. And then we'll do a few personal questions. We're 23 minutes into the recording here, so we still have quite a bit of time.
And the other thing too that I feel with this and what they're communicating is, if you focus on your own inner work and you focus on these things that are important to you and important to your heart, and you're going to do, whether it's meditation, things like that, yes, there'll be people that shift and change in response to your inner work that you're doing around you. But if this is best for your best and highest good, is that really something that's not part of what you're supposed to bring to the world? Because we can't live our life for other people. We can't stay and, keep trying to pull someone up along the mountain while we're busy climbing. We can get up there. We can then throw down the drawbridge to help pull people up out the side, up the side of the mountain. But we need to really do this work for ourselves, especially since this Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, end of the Mayan calendar, this Aboriginal prophecy that was fulfilled on December 21st. We really need to take responsibility for ourselves. And some of us have, whether it's old programs around waiting for each other or about not doing things by ourselves, where Evan reads that Hopi prophecy out in a couple of the shows that we've done too, where it really is this opportunity, this point in time where we have to jump into the river, that we can't be waiting for other people. We need to hop in that river of trust while others are still standing on the banks, and trust that that river will lead us to where we're supposed to go. So it is asking a lot of us to trust within. So let's pick some cards around relationship side of things. And this is a collective read as well, even though some of you might feel that it resonates on a more general level or more personal level. So just going to feel in, because as you know, the way that I read the cards is face down. So I have my little desk here with cards. So the energies that I'm feeling, it's really interesting. I don't know if you guys have seen that meme, and it's the girl dancing. She's probably 2 years old, and what she's doing in that dance, she's getting into that flow state, and she's got her eyes closed and she's like this, just dancing, and she's this toddler, and you can see this music moving and flowing through her. This is what Spirit's saying, to get into this state now, to feel this higher part of yourself, to feel this God universal aspect. Feel it come into your body. Feel it fill you up with light. Feel it fill you with the fullness and that gift of spirit and what it means to be spirit incarnated in the physical. Now, do we want to waste that opportunity? Is this something, where we talked before about the water running through your fingers? Is this something you want to let slip through your fingers? This opportunity that we have for growth and for change like we haven't seen since Atlantean days. This is not something that we want to waste for another, few thousand years or, long time. Right. So I'll just feel into what else they're saying, but this is the message I'm getting so far. They really are just wanting everyone to know, overall, I guess, what they're telling me is like downloads of words, inspiration, feeling, and I'm seeing visuals. What they're showing me is all of us being filled with this golden light, this illumination from within. And it really is, a lot of us are putting on woolly jumpers and thick clothes, and we've forgotten that we have this shine that comes from within. So we need to remove these veils. We need to remove these layers in order to see our true selves like we've never seen us before. So when we look in the mirror, a lot of the time we'll see that skin suit. We're not looking to see the heart of the matter. We're not looking to see the purity of which our spirit has come in with. We're covered and surrounded in programs. We're covered and surrounded in patterns and things from our past. So we really need to strip back everything, almost as if we're incarnating spirit again into this physical realm. And we're starting to step more into that fourth dimension. I feel living here, this is a really good example of fourth dimension, the light that we have come through the forest and the way that it diffuses, the way that nature interacts. And sometimes, if I'm doing readings with clients, we'll get choirs of cockatoos chime in, or we get kookaburras, which in, Aboriginal culture, it's the messengers, some of the different birds. So each will come in. There's a pair of rosellas that are little lovebirds that sit just in the driveway, not too far from where I usually read as well. So, pay attention to the signs around you. Everything is responding within what you're putting out, within what you're holding, that soul essence of you. And Spirit is asking and saying it's time to hold in more of this soul essence. They're ready to top up the cup even more. So where you feel in your meditation and in your love, especially love for yourself, because this is the most important thing that they're showing, there's always room for more. So even if we think that, we go to a certain extent, there's always room for more. So I'll flip these cards. This is interesting. This is funny. This is exactly what we were just talking about. So how I said about the cup and about or pouring the water in, there's always room for more. We have 9 of cups come up. Look at the overflowing. And this is not water. This is golden light. And this is what they were saying that we have within us, this soul essence. So this card is echoing this. What's interesting is this card came up in the future one. So what they're talking about, the journey to get to this, we've got Princess of Disc. So this for me is interesting because not only does she have the disc, she also has the wand. And at the end of her wand, just here, is an octahedron. So an octahedron for me is the sacred geometric shape that we put our goals, our desires, our dreams things that we wish to come into fruition, we plant these as seeds inside an octahedron. And what that does, an octahedron helps to translate that into a higher dimensional. So if we're looking at simulated reality and we're looking at quantum, if we place what we wish to manifest and desire into an octahedron, it's like it increases the energy and the output of that desire and dream in the quantum field. So it's able to come to us a lot quicker, a lot sooner. So what we can see with this Queen of Disc is that she's turned the world upside down. She's let that golden energy come in from spirit. Now, it might shake the world up. It might make the world have to flip upside down for a little bit to shake loose the things that we no longer need or the things that no longer correlate with where we're going. Because a lot of what we're holding on the inside is setting up and paving the way for where we're going. Mm-hmm. So this is where we have Nine of Swords come in, which is the cruelty card. So sometimes when we're holding strong and we're really working with this energy of, the word they're giving me is like self-betterment. So it's like where we're trying to make ourselves a better version of ourselves, or we're trying to declutter, get rid of these old things. Sometimes the universe will bring us more of the same that we've had in the past, or it will bring up old memories, old traumas, old emotions, old feelings to be like, are you sure you're not done with them? Because the universe does respond to not only like our conscious mind, but our subconscious mind. So if there's things coming up in subconscious source field, we need to be able to delete. We need to be able to take these little swords out one by one so that we can reach this bridge of happiness. So the more that we get used to holding this, and I look at this with some of the cut cards with the flows as the brain and as the synaptic little neural networks that fire and wire together. So the more that we start to program our brains, our minds, and our hearts for happiness, instead of cruelty, instead of seeing like what goes on in the world, because a lot of what happens in the world, it doesn't directly impact on our lives. So a lot of what we see in the news, we're not meant to hold that much fear, that much drama, that much violence within one entire being. If we didn't have the news and things turned on, we wouldn't even be knowing that it exists. So I'm not talking about being ignorant to it. I'm talking about don't take that feeling on, because feeling is that instigator that creates change in this quantum field. So really be the guardian of your feelings. Notice, become like a ninja or a warrior. If anything comes in towards your mind and it doesn't feel like it's there for your best and highest good, or it's old low-level programs, we need to actually be like wax on, wax off. So, and you'll know what I'm talking about with your martial arts background, but we need to actually swipe, just like you would on Tinder or anything else. We need to swipe away that which is not for us. And you can literally, I don't even know which way is like left or right swiping. I'd be hopeless if I ever went on Tinder, but whichever way it is to get rid of, to put in the trash, that's what we need to do with the old emotions. Ask them if there's any lessons that they have for you. Use your body as a pendulum. There's a great book called The Emotion Code by a chiropractor. It's based in chiropractic and kinesiology, which is quite similar to my background, working as a kinesiologist for many years, and also working as a psychic to tap into emotions in the field too. So when we release these trapped emotions that are stored within not only our physical body, our etheric, mental, emotional, astral, and spiritual fields, we're able to have much more energy freed up to use in the here and now. So that gets this flow going. It stops the stagnancy. It keeps it all just pouring and, having those cups to capture that and to fill this up. This is pretty much like that energy of making it. It's Jupiter energy as well. This is about expansion. This is about claiming your birthright around natural abundance too. So really exciting energy that we've got come up. I went into channeling mode, so I've lost what we're talking about.
Well, Long Shadow was asking the question, do you mean we need to deprogram ourselves? And you went right into that. So that's
okay, good.
Perfect.
We're talking about in relation to couples and things. So rather than it actually talking so much about like the couples together, this is the time where we do jump in that river. Everyone has to do that individual work. I will pick a separate card and we'll flip it straight away because I know we don't have much time. So what will be coming up for some people at the moment is sorrow. It will be heartaches of the past. It will be where people have done you wrong. So we have the Three of Swords, which in traditional tarot is a heart with three swords through it. We have to actually take out these swords ourselves. No one else is going to take these swords out for us as much as we want them to, or as much as we wish that situations didn't go down the way that they did in the past. Only we can heal this heart. Only we can remove these swords. And when we do, the energy that we get is virtue, which is Three of Wands. We turn it in from like a heartache and possibly even a deep soul wounding, whether this is a twin flame situation for some of you, whether this is the soulmate situation. We start to actually come into alignment with our higher selves, with spirit and with that which we are. And again, we have this golden, almost like starlight energy come through, which is what my team was talking about before, and what the energies that they were channeling through. So this is really at the end of the day about yourself. It's about your soul journey. So those that are meant to stay will stay. Those might see you going into change and quickly like run to catch up, not wanting to miss the bus. But there'll be others that are stuck within this old paradigm, this old shift. And that was the same with the energy going into Uluru, and to do with stepping from one dimension into the other. So the original people talk about that this is the time where we're pretty much stepping out of this old world. Leading up to it, you and I, JC, on your old channel that got deleted, since March last year, we're talking about the Visca Pisces and talking about this blue interlocking circle that I saw with this blue flame energy, which was to do with anchoring that ascension energy. So the more that we're working with this, the more that we're going to start holding more light, the more that we need to have a diet, meditation, and things that support it, the more that we're going to also start attracting more soul family that's in line with where we're going. So it does mean that some will fall away, but it's not a bad thing. Don't see it as a bad thing. Growth is a good thing. Growth is growth.
Yeah, absolutely. So while we're on that subject, let me bring up yesterday's pay-per-view episode, the first in a series of many. As Solreta was saying, we had started trying to do this last year, but got pulled by YouTube, even in pre-crime mode, I guess it was. And that time I thought it was really funny. Solreta, give the audience here an overview. First of all, how did you feel recording this episode last night? Explain to the audience the emotions, the feelings you were getting, and why this is so passionate of a topic for you, and the fact that we're now finally able to share it with the audience. Let's start there.
Yeah, so with the shows that you do with me, we always love to pick cards to give us the energy of what spirit is leading us to talk about. And I'm getting goosebumps just tuning into the energy of the show, because it was such a high vibe show and such sacred knowledge. And the way that the gods and the way that spirit and these higher ascended energies really view this tantric teaching is that this is a gift to humanity. Now, this is a gift that's been shrouded in secrecy. It's been stifled and held for the so-called elite. And it's been twisted and manipulated to make it seem something very, very dark. Now, what we were being shown is this gift is being returned to humanity. So we need to clear out some of the old emotions and things with this. And I know that people will say, but what about if I don't have a partner? So we did cover that in the show, talking about, solo work and things too. Because again, this is something that we need to do for us and for ourselves. And it's, charging that cellular battery, working with this Kundalini energy, it does help to shift through blockages that are held within the chakras, blockages that are held within our energy bodies, helps to get our acupuncture system firing again. And it does even affect us on a very psychic level and taking us through to that next world. It makes you energetically more responsive, more sensitive. You start to psychically pick up on things that you perhaps might not have picked up on in the past. There's so much to talk about that we talked about in the show, and I know that we had to really keep it held in that episode 1 because there's so much that you and I talk about, JC, that we know that we're going to be building these steps that we're seeing here. And so we were really just laying that foundation down, going over a lot of the terminology and the words. And I come at it from a real cosmic, spiritual sense. And you're so versed in the ancient teachings and a lot of the books and information that you've researched and read. So I think we come together in such a beautiful way. It really, for me, felt like a tantric flow conversation of energies. And I know that the feedback we're already getting, people are really, really happy with it, and really, it just feels like time as well, the way that Spirit was talking about this and the way this information is coming through.
Absolutely. And, for me too, I was reading the comments on our Patreon section because they get access to these pay-per-views before the public at large. And it was a resounding success. And it was also interesting to me to read the comments from the male members of our Patreon. For the women, for the most part, they're all like, wow, I thought I knew, but I didn't know. And I'm excited to learn more. That was the gist of most of the comments. And they were really excited to see part 2 of this and where this all goes. And from the male perspective, I was really pleasantly surprised also that they were like, wow, this is great. It was informative. It was respectful. It was tasteful.
Yeah.
Full of information. And so we went to places where people just had no idea. And so again, this is just the beginning of the series. And so SOLRETA and I are so excited to be able to share that. And I have to say too, on how I felt like you. We were basically in a tantra session during the show because we had that flow of energy going back and forth. And it was just like, and we were an hour into it, and I said, we can last another 7 hours. I love this flow. But at the same time, there's a lot of deep and new concepts there that we figured, okay, let's give time for the audience to digest all of this, to maybe get into practice first, and then we'll get into more deeper concepts. The other thing that was amazing about the episode is we were able to touch on some of the negative aspects of how some of our rulers use this technology, these practices to have control over us without focusing too much on that negativity, but at least to the point of making people understand that they can now, if they understand and they know the secrets, empower themselves and to release themselves from this energy extraction matrix. And I thought that was really, really key. And from the most part, the comments I read, we were able to achieve that. And so I'm really excited about that episode, and I hope you guys love it too. So it's available now, folks. If you want to go check it out, you can find it on beyondmystic.net/pay-per-view. This is where you'll find the whole library. And
I've still got so we did go in and actually talk about different tips and tools and things sort of outside of the mainstream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So she's holding there a yoni egg, and we talked about very practical ways and why we can use that. And we got into the secrets of Amrita. And we won't get into that here because look at this episode yanked. But if you were reading along with me a few minutes ago, I was sharing some of the episode topics. You'll see what we were talking about there. And these were all very concrete, tangible things. And again, there for some of the audience members who have already watched the show, they were like, really? I had no idea. So that's what it's all about. And that first card you pulled when we did that show was, it's a gift to humanity. We're giving this information.
It was an angel, pretty much like an ascended otherworldly being coming in, giving this gift to humanity. So if we can look at it in this way, that this is something innate that we're naturally born with, that our energy centers are supposed to run with energy running through it, not to be stagnant, not to be stifled, and we can tap into that. I just saw a really funny comment.
I saw that too. We could maybe twist the energy and refocus that a little bit. But first of all, Maddie says, I need to invest in those. We go into the different types, the different sizes, and why you should choose one versus the other in the show, Maddie. So you can go check that out. And for those of you who are interested in doing a 2-hour session with SOLRETA, she does have a coupon code right now. And if you want to do a couples session online or a personal 2-hour session online, you can ask her how she can bring tarot and some of this guiding spiritual information to you, but also from that tantric perspective. What's the coupon code for that? And SOLRETA just mentioned this. Somebody else was saying this in the chat. Your website is still down. Even for me live here, I cannot access it.
This is so weird. I checked it yesterday and it was working. I can send the link straight to, let me just send you the link straight to the landing page where the bookings are. Okay. Because I do have a new website getting built at the moment. Because at the moment, everything I've set up's on Weebly, done by myself. So
okay, got you. That could explain why this first landing page here is not working.
So I would say it's probably an issue more with Weebly, but my bookings page is held by a different host in a different server.
Good.
So let me jump in and send that link to you so you can share it.
while you do that, so folks, I'll recommend you guys go check out SOLRETA and Tyria here on YouTube and subscribe to her channel there. She's putting more and more effort into this content, and she's dived in deep now. She's doing this full time. So do go and encourage her there and check out that new content. And also, if you like all of these new pay-per-view products we are offering here on the Beyond Mystic page, consider at some point maybe becoming an Insider Access Pass member. Again, they have full priority access to all the pay-per-view. They get it before everybody else, and they get to comment and participate in the communication and the conversation here on Patreon, and maybe also give us tips and tools and questions so that we can, SOLRETA and I, decide how to bridge that information into the next upcoming shows. So it makes you even more part of the conversation there. So do go check that out. All right. So SOLRETA, let me look for that link. Let's see if I'm here. Are you sending me that on Facebook, SOLRETA?
Yeah, no, it's that weird Mercury retrograde energy that we're talking about. Hold on a sec. It should be here.
Okay.
Oh, I found it. Let me send it. Yeah, there's something weird happening with my website, which all I can put down to is weird Mercury retrograde. But I will go check it out. And I'm still probably about 6 weeks away till my web's design is finished.
Okay.
With everything.
Oh, Maddie said she's subscribed. Good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So I've just sent you, it'll come up looking like this. So it'll look more like an appointments booking.
Okay, so let me copy link address, bring that in the chat for the audience here. Hold on. Okay, so what I'm seeing is this already. Is that good?
Yeah, so that's my actual locked booking page. So the other issue is with Weebly. This is a separate thing that I usually just have open on my Weebly page. So I have to go in and get my son. My son's a techie, so he can have a look at everything for me as well.
So let me just right now, folks, while we're live here, I'm going to adjust the description box below this video with that new link as well. And from that link, the coupon code Tantra, one word in high caps.
Yeah, so that will work even if you're not wanting to book more of like a Tantra, I guess, session where you're looking into how can you incorporate this into your life.
Okay.
So you can still use that code Tantra to book a 2-hour session, whether it's a couple session or whether it's a normal session, but it will give you $30 off your session with me as well.
Okay.
So I know that it's a little bit of a wait to book in, but it is one of those things people love to book and they're like, I was looking forward to it. So, you know, if you've got a birthday or anything come up, a lot of people do book sessions for their birthdays, which is lovely.
That's very good. So we've got quite a few Patreon members here. Lakeside Laura, she says, love Patreon membership. Totally worth it. Thank you. Appreciate that. Lisa, also membership, worth it. We're very happy. Woke Dealer says, yeah, we love you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, everyone. Okay, we're 45 minutes into it. We have to do some readings. So let me get to at least that first PayPal donator we promised at the beginning of the show. I think it was Blaine. So let me bring that back up. And then there's a few good questions here on the side as well. And we'll try to use up the rest of the time here.
Oh, and Glass Effects has just said we just had a solar flare as well, and Australia's internet structure sucks, which is true.
It's true. Yeah, that could explain a lot, actually. Okay, so it was Blaine. Yes, Blaine. Okay, so let me read that up again, and let's see if you understand this correctly, because either Blaine or Michelle Barnett. So there's something weird here. Hi, JC. Like SOLRETA to see how my journey looks for the rest of the year. Thank you. Michelle Barnett, my girlfriend. This is Blaine. Do you understand the connection? So
this is for Blaine, and Michelle Barnett is the girlfriend. Okay.
Okay, so Blaine is asking for his journey for the rest of the year, if I'm getting this right. Okay, so let's do that for Blaine. Thank you so much, Blaine. I appreciate the PayPal tip jar, and everybody else as well. Thank you so much.
Okay, so the energies that I'm seeing come in for Blaine, there's a lot of darker blue coming in on the left-hand side. So Spirit is asking you to pay definite attention to your intuition, to the inner voices, the inclining. I also feel a healing energy around you. What this means is that there's energies that you can tap into. So whether you've worked with healing, whether you've thought about working with healing, or whether this is deep healing coming up from within, I'm seeing these sorts of energies. I'm also seeing on the right-hand side it moving into a slightly lighter blue. There is a lot of Pleiadian energy around you. So being more receptive to these energies coming in will help to upgrade different things that are happening in life. I also feel that there's a lot of communication, and I'm hearing high pitches as we're talking, and I'm feeling spirit talk in the background. So there's a lot of higher healing communication that is really for the next 3 to 4 months. There's a lot of this energy there. So definitely utilize that, tap into that, and I'll flip the cards too. So we have the card of love come up, which is that flow. I feel that this is the two things that they were talking about, healing and communication, but I feel that it's working together as one thing, because that's what they were sort of showing you, was this energy working together. We do have the card of the devil. So in some ways it might seem to be still somewhat of a harder year. And I feel that this is more to do with, I guess, in the global situation that's been happening that we won't talk about, but everyone knows what I'm talking about. The other thing sometimes the devil card can represent is someone around that is possibly dealing like with addiction issues. Sometimes this can even be like heavier thought processes and patterns. Sometimes it can be someone who's quite magnetic. We do have Prince of Disc. I feel this is really getting things into alignment, getting things more organized. I'm just going to ask for some clarification really quickly for this. I feel this is making plans. So whether your partner's been asking you to get things organized and to get things done, I feel that this is sort of referring to this. So we see that the Prince of Disc is quite vulnerable in this, that he's not wearing any, thanks, Walt, not wearing any armor. He's just wearing the helmet. And this is a Taurus energy. This is sometimes a little bit slow, a little bit like, come along, come on, come on. It's like you're waiting for that person to join the party. They do have their heart in a good place, but we have the Queen of Pentacles who's sitting patiently on the throne, holding this coin. She's kind of centered, grounded, organized. And then we have the Hanged Man as well. So it's just asking possibly to look at thinking from the other person's perspective. But I do feel that this is looking at where your future is going together as a couple, but in a good way. It's like, really planning, laying foundations down. I do feel that there's more opportunity for communication and healing. Now, this could also be this Mercury retrograde period that we were talking about. So look at it when you're sensitive as an invitation. Mm-hmm. If you guys are on that same path, that same communication, and you're both, living in this non-muggle world, like the magical side of things, where this is a dialect and conversation that you can have, use it as a time to help Mercury get you to dive deeper, to revisit things that perhaps may have hurt or wounded in the past, but to not have to be attached to that energy drawing you back down, but talking about things so that you can move forward is the energies that I'm feeling for you at the moment.
Okay, very good. There was a question in the chat earlier, but it's off my buffer. It was from Laura Tetro. She was asking, is there a twin flame incoming for me, or words to that effect? So again, relationship theme here. So Laura Tetro, I believe.
I just got goosebumps. The energy that I saw with that, there's a lot of yellow. There's something more to learn first, is what I'm seeing. And there's something around confidence possibly holding you back with the way that you are walking on your path, because I'm seeing orange come up followed by yellow, and then there's pink. So there's definitely something around having a higher form of self-love first before, otherwise you may attract, they're saying, slingshots back into the past. So you might attract a similar person. I'm hearing high pitches, similar person with a different mask from the past. So definitely working on your confidence, self-love. Let's have a look. Oh, thank you, Viking. Oh, that's so sweet. He's such a beautiful person. Let me have a look into, okay.
So this is for Laura. Is there a twin flame incoming?
So yeah, I'm still feeling that golden kind of yellow energy coming in. There's an invitation from source, from higher self, that's wanting to connect and communicate. I'm still getting high pitches, and it feels like an open channel type energy, and this is sitting off just to the right. So bring it into alignment, bring that higher aspect of who you know to be. And the energy that they're showing me is a queen. It's quite a regal, beautiful energy. Stop trying to fit and trying to be a princess when you're a queen. Is the energy that I'm getting. So you may have like downgraded yourself. You may have downgraded the way in which you interact with people in your environment. So, you know, sometimes we can all become like a chameleon and shape and mold ourselves to fit the group. But is this holding you back? Is the energy that they're showing me with this situation. So when you upgrade, when you start to move towards the future, you'll get another tribe that's around you. And I'm not saying to let go of everyone, but notice where you live small in order to make other people feel comfortable. So I'm flipping this. Oh, this is what we were talking about. Look at this, like you're a goddess, you're shining. There's this energy in you that's waiting to be birthed. This gold energy that I saw.
Can you bring it a little bit closer, SOLRETA, so we can see it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
So this is the last card. So it's quite easy to go with what's already there, to go with what's easy. But if you're building something new, if you really are working for something that's going to be for your best and highest good, it takes time to get these systems in place. It takes time to, and I mean, it doesn't have to, it can happen overnight, but we need to get used to being uncomfortable for a little bit while we're building something new. And the sunlight's just starting to turn up as we're talking, and we have the card of gain. So it will bring you new circles, and it's in these new circles and in this up leveling that brings about this higher energy. Because I feel that if you got what you wanted exactly right now, it might not fit for long. It might last for 3-4 months, but you want something that's going to go the long haul. We also have Princess of Cups, which is the most beautiful. You have so much love to give. This is this card. She has so much wisdom, so much love to give and to share. Now, this is not always about you having to give. You need to have that energy that's balanced, that knows how to reciprocate and to give this back to you. Look how beautiful this is.
It's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So I hope that helps us, just touching on it a little bit, because we do need to move on for some other people, but it's definitely something I recommend exploring in a bigger session with me.
Absolutely. That's amazing. Okay. And speaking of that too, so guys, you're looking for this website here. The link is now in the description box below. And the coupon code for the session here is Tantra, one word, high caps. Again, that information is in the description box below. Okay. Maddie says, oh, wow, stunning. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
Jolanta says, hey, I booked another appointment. That's great. Thank you, Jolanta.
Oh, thank you, Jolanta. I look forward to
Thank you, Jolanta, for the PayPal tip also. I really appreciate that. You're very generous. I love that. Thank you so much. Okay. I saw something earlier that struck my attention. I'm trying to find it again on the buffer. Where did you go? Where did you go? Somebody was asking about healing, my path, healing. Oh, okay, Patty, there you go. Let's do this one last, and then we'll go back. I have 2 questions for you in regards to the Tantra episode we did yesterday, and we'll finish it with that. So let's finish here on Patty. I believe that my path is healing. Do you see that?
Yeah, so let's have a look in for Patty. Okay, so they've told me to pick 1 from right now and then 2 to do with the future. And I just want to say, and ask if anyone else can feel these sun codes that are coming in. It just, the energy feels just insane is the only way I can describe it. It feels amazing. Oh, hi, Sage. So the energy that I'm feeling for Patty for right here and right now, spirits, they're showing me someone walking and they're going, stop, just stop right there and feel. So they're actually asking you to stop, to feel in, to get in congruency with breathing in your body, because they're saying a lot of the time you live outside of your body, it's time to come back in and time to make that a home, because they're saying a lot of distractions come up. It's easy to get distracted by other people's things. And sometimes when we're healing others, what is it that we need to first heal within ourselves? And they're showing, put this energy, put this battery towards yourself first. So we'll flip this first card. Yeah, we've got the 5 of Swords, which is defeat. So this energy sometimes is like a standstill. It is kind of a freeze moment from spirit. So there's a synchronicity in spirit talking about that. And then when we flip the card, we're seeing this. This is almost like an intellectual battlefield, but to do with the own mind. So it's our own thoughts that are tripping us up. It's our own inner conflict and different things that are preventing more from happening on the physical. So I'll flip these other 2 cards. And this is perfect. We have satiety, the 10 of Cups. So look at this. It's just mirroring, echoing the sunshine that's coming in. Yeah, look at this light that you can open up
Wow.
to when you actually stop, you're in the moment, you sit with yourself, you give yourself that love and attention that you need, you fill your own cup first. You have so much more to give in terms of like if you were to just go and do healing right now. So this is really talking about addressing that first. We have Ace of Wands. Spirit is handing you a brand new opportunity in regards to career, in regards to spiritual aspirations. So it's up to you whether you take this opportunity, but look how explosive it is. The two of these cards together, it's going to give you much more confidence when you top up and you give yourself that love and affection on that heart level first. I feel that there's a lot that we could read because I'm seeing like multiple different things come up, but we don't really have time to go into it. But yeah, it is one for a personal session. So yeah, please use the Tantric code that we have. I only have 10 sessions available at the discounted price, so it is something you need to jump on straight away because they do go quite quickly when we do these shows. Yeah, definitely well worth it.
Very good. And Craig says, yeah, absolutely crazy energy. So folks, please do, I recommend book a session with SOLRETA. I have before, and I'm better for it. And I know a lot of you have already done so because I've seen your reviews on our website and on our Patreon. So give that a try.
Really appreciate
and if
that.
you're not sure yet, and you want to learn more of how just in depth SOLRETA has in terms of this information, especially in terms of Tantra and how it all relates to manifesting our future, please check out this episode here on our pay-per-view channel. It's called SOLRETA Ontario Uncensored, and it'll bring you to this Raising Kundalini with SOLRETA pay-per-view series that we have just now embarked on. So my two questions for you as we finish the show, SOLRETA. First, if you're a male, why would you need to watch this episode, in your view?
And that's what I was thinking before, that it was such a good balance between the masculine and feminine energies between the two of us and the way that we, hold space for this conversation to take place. So on a masculine level, it's really important because when you are utilizing Tantra skills and Tantric energy, not only can you feel more intensely throughout your whole body. So some of the Tantra that I've worked with, with partners and things in the past, and not all of them are opening to it. You will still have those relationships where someone's quite closed off to this side of things. But in the experiences that I've had, and some of them are not even physical, some tantric experiences happen as pure energy exchange between the chakras, between the energy bodies. But some of the feedback that I've had from the male side of things is that they feel forever changed, that it's almost like being plugged into that cosmic mother, because women, as we know, that womb space, it is that creator energy, it is that yoniverse or universe, or the portal into the universe. So it is a really magical divine energy to work with, whether you're working with it solo as a male, working with getting your own energies flowing. And the masculine also has their own specialties and own things about them, which you're probably better to cover in some of the other Tantra shows that we'll do. But one thing that I do know is that when you're working with a partner in Tantra, the physical reality, when you've got a good balance of masculine and feminine energies, the physical reality will sometimes start to disappear around you. And you're not even sitting in this third dimension anymore. You're literally sitting amongst the stars, amongst galaxies. You're feeling, you're seeing different things through this whole energetic, cosmic egg that we live. You're not seeing just through the physical eyes anymore. You're experiencing through the heart. It's just such a hard feeling to describe. I try and convey it as well as I can in words. But if you're sensitive to energy, definitely tap into what we're feeling and what we're talking about. But for the male side of it, it's great. Like if you can have more tools in your tool bag, tips and tools that we talk about, whether it's working with energies for yourself or whether it's, about helping to please your partner in other ways. But so much of this Tantra stems from your heart. This is one of these things that if you bring heart and you bring loving awareness to any situation, you're going to get so much more out of it than just the physical mechanics, even though we do get into some mechanics too. But yeah, I hope that explains.
That's very good. And I like what you're saying here about bringing the heart into it. We got into the topics of Taoism and cultivating the energy and transmuting that for the different purposes in your life. So in alchemy terms, if your heart isn't into it, it doesn't work. So I love that you just brought the heart space and the frequency back into the show. So the last question here is from the female point of view, especially in the context now of the earlier parts of this show where we talked about the need for deprogramming and removing maybe some of those old core wounds so that you can access these higher frequencies. What would you tell to them in terms of why it's important maybe to take a look into this episode here, the first in the series?
Yeah. I just, for me, it's like, why wouldn't I want to? You know, if that doorway is there, I'm very much, I resonate with the archetype of Alice in Wonderland. And if I look into my Vedic astrology, my ascendant nakshatra, which is one of the ones that we go by, is, you know, where is your moon, where's your ascendant? They're the two most important things in Vedic astrology. So mine is the goddess Rohini. So Rohini is a very sensorial, belly dancing type goddess, and she likes to taste things. She likes to experience things for herself. Now, I just don't want to read about things in books. You know, I want to live into it. I want to feel into the information. I want to talk to others that have experienced it. I want to surround myself with it so then I can start to partake and start to utilize this energy, because it's not just about sex. This is about utilizing a life force energy. This is about manifesting. It's about creation. It's about fertility. It's about having a healthy energy system. It's about tapping into that higher knowledge that's been hidden from us. Because when we tap into this, we open those channels. We have this Kundalini awakening and come up within us. There's so much that we can download, and there's so much that we can upgrade in terms of who we are on a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual level.
Right. Absolutely. Well said. So folks, that's it for the show tonight. Please do go check out this first in the series here, the exclusive series for pay-per-view, Raising Kundalini with SOLRETA. We're so excited, and I can go on and on as to why, because I've been waiting a year to be able to do this show without all of the censorship, and we finally found a way to push this through. And for the reviews we've already had so far, I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to producing more of these with SOLRETA. I think we're right on track and right on time, and universe is behind us in these energies. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Please remember to go and subscribe to SOLRETA Anteria here on YouTube, and also on this right now booking form as she's transitioning between her websites. You can find all these links in the description box below. And of course, this was part 6 of Simulated Reality with SOLRETA. Thank you so much, SOLRETA, for being here, and thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Merci, Ronnie. And that's about it. I'm Jean-Claude at BeyondMystic. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe here on our backup channel. We are at 36,500 strong and growing, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great night, everyone. Au revoir.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, JC.